Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Entrepreneurship Facts. And today I have another special guest for all of you, Sonny Tran. Well, I let him introduce himself to all of you so you can learn about who he is and what his entrepreneurial journey is like. Sonny, why don't you talk a bit about yourself?
Awesome. Hi, David. Thanks for having me here. I think that's great that, we share the same thing, but we're coming from another country and everything. So I wanted to share with your audience that I've been in the business of sales and marketing for 20 years, mainly sales, financial sales to be exact. And I wanted to help people understand like there is a big relationship between sales and marketing, how to put it together. But I wanted to start off of everything with like how I started this journey into America. Because this is, like you, I came from Vietnam. We were refugees. There was a war. And well, our side didn't win the war and everything. And because of that, then we were able to be fortunate enough to come to America, the land of opportunity. Because Vietnam was like a third world country. There's 80 million people there. And there's like no jobs anywhere. And my grandmother, she died from a cold. In Vietnam, everyone dies from a cold. They call it Jum Ya. And the reason that you die from a cold is because they don't have like better like doctors and things. They don't know what you died from. But the truth is my grandma never got to eat even meat. And that's one of those things that, oh, she died not having ever having to have that. And it just like makes you think like what sacrifices has your parents, has your family done? And the reason that I'm in this country is because my mom was born with me, the only son, and she didn't want me to serve in the military. Okay. So that's why we escaped and fled. And when we came to this country, we didn't have a lot of money. We didn't have jobs. We didn't even speak the language. Because we didn't speak the language, it was hard to do hardly anything without the help of strangers and the kindness of others. And because of that, and other people that could speak Vietnamese and English, they helped us like find out food, get jobs, do all kinds of things. And I'm so ever grateful for that and this country, how everything is. And this is definitely America, the land of opportunity. So I went to college, University of Colorado. I was actually shipped there from Philadelphia, New Jersey is where I grew up in. But I was shipped there because I was kind of a bad kid in high school. And they sent me to my rich uncle to live there, right? So I was sent there and I had to kind of be on my own. My parents and everyone still lived out east. I was living with my uncle. And I had to kind of figure out how to do things on my own. I was like, I don't know how to do anything, but all I did is play sports in high school. And here I had to walk a mile to go to school, which was kind of interesting too, my rich uncle. So I did that and I went to advanced. I got advanced diploma in college where I got college credits. I did National Honor Society and all those other things, but that's just like a little bit the origin. The big origin is I got my first job when I was online, where it was a .com. They had me selling knives and I didn't know how to sell, but I liked the job, how you got paid to help others, sell things and advertising. And the advertising was free marketing for college students. It was called collegeclub.com. Back then was the late 90s. So it was when the .com boom where all these internet sites are doing all this stuff. I was like, oh man, that's awesome. I get stock and everything. And all I did is I walked into businesses and my mentor at the time's name was Joel. He was a knife salesman, Cutco. If you guys all know that knife, it's a really expensive knife that you buy and people would sell that by people going door to door, knocking on people's houses. So it's like, yeah, that's how we could do marketing. I was like, oh, marketing that way. I have to walk into businesses. It's like, yeah, it's easy sell. All you got to do is tell them, hey, you give them a discount to college kids and we'll put your marketing website on this website. I'm like, okay. So I did a whole bunch of that in a team. We did really well in Denver where they sent us to Chicago and we did the same thing. We just basically, they dropped us off on a corner somewhere and we would door knock all the businesses. And I say, and it's kind of different like Denver and Chicago. There was a little bit more crime too. So I learned really quick that, hey, you got to be a little bit faster at things. But that helped me on the sales entrepreneur journey. And then from there, I went back to school because then the stock, that was like a part-time thing when I was the president of a club. So that taught me social skills as well. The social skills was like, hey, how do I get these college students to fill out this form and be part of our club so they can get discounts? Oh, it's a bribe. What's the bribe? Pizza. We gave them free pizza. If you give me your name and on, hungry, broke college kids on campus, what do? They want the pizza. How do I get on there? They put their emails on a list and they joined this discount club and they all like discounts. So I was club president for this thing. So that was cool. But then one thing led to another and the .com blew up like everything else. And I was like, I need to get like a job. And what happened was there's broker firm, and it was financial sales. And I took a micro and macroeconomics class. I really liked finance and money. So what happened there was, since I liked it so much, I was like, let me go get a job at a place that does financial advisory. So I got the job. I was 1 out of 100. So I was hired for this job, and it was good. You know, I was selling like investments to rich people. And what I learned from that is like, I didn't really like rich people. Sometimes there's a different attitude, and there was people that I helped like make like $1 million, and it wasn't that fulfilling for me. And then one of the things that struck me was like, there was a manager there, my manager, that taught me how to like sell and do financial investments. Was, hey, you don't need to go to school anymore. You know, you don't need school. You make $100,000 a year easily right now. And what I did is I was like, he told me to quit school to do that. I was like, you know what? I'm going to quit the job. And I ended up walking into another bank. It was a Chase Manhattan Bank location, and saying, hey, I'm a licensed, financial representative. And I sold them on the job because they actually weren't hiring anyone. But I was like, could you use that? And here's the thing. I go to college Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So Tuesday and Thursday. So I can only work Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So I'm working 3 days and a half a day on Saturday. And I was like, if you could do that, I could do it. And by the way, I'm a financial advisor, and I noticed that you guys don't have that. So is there a position available? And then she talked to her manager, and the manager's like, yeah, we're always looking for people to sell investments. And that's how I created my own job. So I sold them on me being, hey, here's a position that's not available to sell, because they were in need of people like me. And I did that, and I went to school, and I had 18 credit hours was my top credit hours. I worked about, I think it was like 36 or 34 hours a week. It wasn't a full 40 hours, and I still got benefits and everything. So I'm forever grateful for Chase for that. But after I graduated college, my parents asked me to come back home because they all still lived in New Jersey, So then I went back home. I quit my job and everything, and I became a professional poker player. That's all I did. I learned how to play poker. So that was like during that whole thing. So I made money doing that stuff. And it was like one day I didn't have a financial advisor. I had those licenses. I didn't do any of that stuff. And then I dated this girl, and she was like, you need to have a job. I was like, why? I pay your dinner. I do all these things. I make like $400 a day. I don't have to pay taxes. Maybe I should mention that, you know what I mean? Because it's gambling winnings.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was like, you need a job. So I was like, okay, I'll go get a job. So I went back into like finance, and I worked at Verizon Wireless. I worked 2 jobs at that time, and in accounting. So I guess my story is like, when you move it all forward, like anything I wanted to do, I got a job and did. And it goes back to another story I can tell you about accounting. When my parents, they lived for Denver in a brief time, then they moved to New Jersey. They had an accountant do their thing. They said, you don't need the capital gains losses to carry over. I can just start your taxes brand new. And anyone that knows like accounting is like, but if I lost money in the other years, I can carry it up to the forward. And because that account was so bad, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get an accounting license. And that's what I did. I got a license. I opened up my own firm. So one of my businesses is a tax accounting firm.
Nice.
And it still exists today. And the reason is that I wanted to bring that up is like, when people aren't doing a good thing, and it like drives me nuts. And if you always, as a person, think you can do it better, then try it. Go ahead and do it. I mean, like, you can learn how to do things. And right now we're in an information age where everything, knowledge is power. You can self-education. You can learn from YouTube. You can learn online videos. There's free content everywhere. That's the place to do it. So yeah, I think that's the thing. What I did with the tax business is I went to H&R Block, and I paid them $200 to learn how to do their course. And from that $200, I worked there for a few years. And then I worked for a CPA accounting firm after that. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do my own, because all you guys charge too much money. I didn't really like that. And us being Asian, we like to always shop for prices and, haggle on that. And I was like, okay. So I did that as one of my companies. Another company that I had is a mortgage company that I worked for. And it was like, well, I was like managing like money. Once upon a time, I was a hedge fund manager. I didn't bring up that part of the story. I did manage money, a lot of money too. And it was more like, he's like, you can trade the bonds. And this was a 2007 crisis almost, where there wasn't like a blow up in the bonds. It's like, hey, mortgages were the thing where even like, if you're a pizza delivery man, you want to do mortgages because there's not enough mortgage originators to create money in the system. So like that, people can have more houses. And that's when houses went up. If you bought a house a month later, it increased 10%. Yes. So that was a crazy time. But I came in during the bottom when everything almost like blew up when I came in. And like, you came mortgages that time? I was like, well, I thought that there was going to be a mortgage bond trading desk where I would help, make more money from these portfolios. Instead, my manager asked me, hey, it's going really bad out there right now. So can you help me originate and do loans? I was like, loans? I was a financial advisor. What do I want to do loans for? Well, I did do that. And I was like, okay, I could do that. And it ended up like, 10 years later, I started owning banks and things like that. So I used to own 3 different banks. I was a branch manager for some mortgage origination shops. And I kind of stopped that after a while, but it's still like my main income. What I mean stopped as I slowed it down, because here's where my epiphany came in the entrepreneurship journey. Well, I learned how to do sales, and through all of the 20 years of sales, I know how to sell, and I know a great framework in it. And I want to share that with you a little bit. So I just want to share some stories on some of this. The framework is that sales is that one of those things that, hey, I knew how to do it well because I had a lot of information. But what I didn't realize is the people that worked for me and with me, they didn't know how to do it well. And because I have an accounting background, I know finance, I know taxes and all these things, it was easier for me to sell in the one product because I can always use a frame of experience that the customer has in other parts of the financial services and bring it in so I can close on the mortgage part. So I went to this conference, Grant Cardone. That's the growth conference, because I was like, I know how to sell, but I had a life insurance team, I had a 130-person team at that time teaching how to sell, and I couldn't figure out what was their problem. I was like, man, I know how to do this. Why can't you do this? I don't get it, But what I learned is like, it was a culmination of all these things I learned. And I was like, all right, Grant Cardone knows how to really sell. So I'm like, okay, let me learn a process so I can teach, so I can duplicate myself. Because all my business and jobs, I'm the one working it. And that is why it wasn't duplicatable. You don't own a business. What Robert Kiyosaki says, if you're the one that's working in it, you got to work on your business and not in it. And that's a big thing for entrepreneurs. You need to be able to replicate and duplicate yourself. You need to have a process that's systematic, that is repeatable, that you can bring it all upon everything. Otherwise, you're going to be working in your business. And it's like you own your business, but actually you own your job. And that is definitely something that I want to get out there where people need to learn that, because I needed to learn that. I thought, hey man, I'm making all this money, but if I'm working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, that's not really like owning a business. That's like, I'm working in it. I work for myself and my business needs me. So Grant Cardone, I learned a process how to train other people how to be really good salespeople. So then at that Cardone conference, I actually went to hire someone to market for me, do marketing for me. Nice. And that's when Russell Brunson came on, and he's like, oh yeah, there's this thing called sales funnels where, hey, all you got to do is like, you do this, and who's the best salesperson? Yourself. So if you're on this, screen and you're selling and the machine talks 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I was like, that's awesome. I don't have to talk to people all day. And it just like does this thing. I'm like, great. And I did it mainly. I came there with the intention of learning a sales team. My second intention was to hire someone to do advertising and marketing for me. But what I learned there, a lot of those people were like, they were just a little bit better than me. Like they knew a little bit. But when I asked them questions like, hey, you need a Facebook pixel, because I knew enough about Facebook. I was like, so like that you attract the audience. A lot of those people didn't know what it was. Oh, we don't do digital marketing that way. And I'm like, you don't do digital? There's something wrong with this, really wrong with this. I was like, oh, I'm in a conference with all salespeople. Of course they're going to sell me on something, even though they don't know how to do it that well. And I was like, okay, let me learn from the master himself, Russell Brunson. So I bought that package, and that's when Russell Brunson broke the internet at the time, where he did what to our group was 90-minute, live on stage day. He sold $3 million to a bunch of salespeople.
I heard.
Yes, I was there, and I was like, wow, this guy is amazing. And before that, I heard of Russell. And the reason I didn't move forward with Russell and ClickFunnels before that was like, oh, I thought that this website thing did all the things for you. And I was like, oh, you have to buy lead generation too? I'm like, no, I don't want to do any of that. That's just like a landing page.
Yeah.
But what I learned from Russell is like, he's giving you this awesome technology, but what's even better is he's teaching you his marketing secrets, how to be one of the best marketers out there on the planet. And that was why that was like a big kind of, and I was like, okay, so then there's something between marketing and sales, and there needs to be an integration with it. And that's when I started having that little bit of the epiphany about integrating sales and marketing. They both need to be the same thing, because here's the thing. A lot of times salespeople are like, hey, your leads suck. You know what I mean? And then the marketer is like, you're not following them enough. You suck at follow-up. And that is one of the biggest problems between that. And a lot of the marketers, like Russell Brunson's world, they don't understand sales because they're not like selling one-to-one. And a lot of Grant Cardone's people, they're masters at salespeople. They don't understand online because Here's how Grant Cardone's approach is. I need to call you, David. Hey, you want to buy something? Hey, let me buy ice cream. You want to buy it today? Oh, no, I'm not interested right now. Okay. Tomorrow's like, hey, David, hey, you sure you don't want ice cream? There's sprinkles on it, then there's nuts, and then there's hot fudge. Really? Okay, not today. How about tomorrow? Then you call again. His thing is you have to keep on calling the contact person, and the best way to get that sale is one-on-one. In other words, me and you, this video is good, but what's better is if I came to your house.
Yeah.
So Grant teaches that, and he's like, if you can't do that, what's the next best thing? A video. Then we would drop videos to you. It's like, hey, David, it's Sonny. I thought about you because we thought about our conversation about ice cream, but I think it's really good for you. You should check it out. I got some really good ice cream, and he's just being relentless on that, and if you can combine that with Russell, which is like the softer approach, it's like the online thing that is happening. And if I'm clicking, and Russell's thing is like, if you're having conversations already in the person's head and you're just like bring those that's how you sell that way.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like where the epiphany was like, there's both of them can work together to create sales, because high ticket sales need more than a personalization. It's like most people, when you buy a custom suit or you just buy something that's made for everybody, and we're all individualistic. Because that's why a person going one-on-one, you can pick up those clues and ask more questions around what they're looking for and give them the answers and figure out what conversations are happening in their head right then and there. And online is like easy if you choose a targeted niche audience of exactly what your audience or your client avatar is, and then you're selling to them that, and then you break up other conversations. Once you solve a problem, the key with Russell is like, once you solve a problem, it creates another problem. So you sell them the next problem, and then you create another problem when you solve that solution, which it keeps on going down, which goes all the way up to a value ladder.
Yeah.
So it was amazing. So the combination of all the different businesses that I came, and obviously not speaking English, I wanted to give back. And one of the best things is that I can do to give back is help entrepreneurs do more business on whatever it is. Because a lot of times, like, again, your normal brick and mortar businesses, like your pizza shop, your nail salon in Vietnamese, we have a lot of those. We deal people face to face. So we don't know the online marketing, but dealing face to face, you're doing selling face to face, more of the Grant Cardone's approach. But what if you can connect that with like the online world, and the online's like, hey, how do I get customers to see me a little bit face to face? And that's through the videos. And that on sales funnels, and things like that, where you're sending this message and they send them into your business, and you're doing the one-on-one selling, and you give them a great customer experience. Now they would give to their friends. And how do you create more sales from that? If you're like a nail salon owner, so one example, well, then you can do a customer loyalty program. Hey, you refer customers, like for my tax business, I refer like all my customers. If they refer 5 new customers, they get the tax return for free. How do I do that? That's the first thing they have. Free? I don't have to pay? How do I do that? And they're like, wow. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna refer you all these people. So I have spreadsheets and tables and everything. So all my customers actually have sent at least one referral over the course of the last, 10 years? More than 10 years now. I've been 2008. We're in 2019 now. That's 11 years of my tax business. Yeah, they just keep on referring more business. So in a way, if you can figure out from your business, if you can create some customer continuality program and reward them, remember their birthdays. Remember things like that. Like I have a CRM system where I send out, hey, happy birthday. They remember, they send me a personalized email back. Oh, thank you for whatever. And then it engages a conversation. So like that, you can try to figure out what is it, the next product or thing that they want. And if it's related to something you're doing, sell it to them, And Myron Golden, another one of our coaches in Russell's mastermind that we're both a part of, David, which is awesome. And, that's been a big game changer in my life too. Teaches that, hey, when you do someone's service is when you actually sell them. And in a lot of Russell's books and his coaching, he says the people that get things for free, a lot of times they don't listen, they don't pay attention. Like he said countless people, his friends, to all his webinars and his seminars that he does, they haven't made any money, but the people that paid him like $10,000, $30,000 are the ones that made the most money because they paid more attention to it.
Yeah.
And that was a secret that I learned. And my journey, my story with that was that I joined the 2 Comma Club coaching program. And again, Russell got introduced me from Grant Cardone. And the reason I joined was because I wanted to serve more. I know how to help people, but the problem that I have internally is I don't know how to receive. Like I keep on helping people, but a lot of times what I did learn is that sometimes I'm not helping them because I'm giving the content information for free and they're not really listening when they're asking the same question again and again later on. And I've even seen that many times. I was like, well, why is that? Because I'm not authority or expert, or they didn't pay me. And I think that's what it was. I was like, you know what? For me to help more people, I need to learn, and I need to give Russell Brunson $30,000. You know, that was my second mentor. My first mentor was Grant Cardone, and he got me for $1,000 to join his group. In that first year with Russell, I spent $3,000. I spent $30,000 that year. I bought Russell's program. I bought this guy named Ezra Firestone, which is the e-commerce guru's program. I bought Anik Singh's program.
Yeah.
I bought this guy, Naveen John, which he says he wants illness to be a choice and not actually something that happens. I bought his thing. I never even used it. I bought 2 packages, both my parents, and they didn't. I'm not testing my gut. And I'm like, I just spent $1,400. You need to use it, you know? But it's cool. It's just like a learning lesson. But what it was, it opened up my world to like receiving coaching, where I'm good at what I do, but I didn't really know that there's different like ways of thinking with it. And Russell's program, I will tell you, is an emotional kind of thing. Like I was like, I can't do it. I was like, $30,000, a lot of money. I didn't have the money. I had to put on a credit card. And I was like, I don't know. You know, I just went to Funnel Hack. I just went to Grant Cardone's thing. I spent, you know, like over 10 grand there. You know, I'm like, but Myron really spoke to me. And it was like, he's like, look, for you to achieve more, you have to get your message out there, and you need to learn how to receive. And that was my problem. I don't know how to receive. I can give to people, but if I don't receive, so like that I can give more to more people, then that is like the problem. And when I was taking a shower at 3 a.m. the next morning, I was like, you know what? Myron's right. I need to sign up. So I just signed up, but it was emotional. My hand was shaking when I signed that credit card slip, spending the $30,000. I was like, man, this is like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know where I'm gonna get the money from or any of that. And I just made the decision to just move ahead. And that took me many different programs, great relationships like with you, David. You know, you've done great things out there in that space of Instagram, man. I love it. You know, how you're like really crushing it in that space. And me, I think my message is I can help people integrate sales and more marketing. And right now, one of my partners, his name is Jeremy. He went from a trailer park to $1 million in 6 months. And I know. And in 10 months, he hit $3 million. And we're forecasting in another 2 months, he's probably gonna have 5 million.
Nice. You connect with him through the coaching program as well?
Yes, it was in the coaching program, but it was another coaching program. His name is Steven Larson, which Russell introduced me to at Offermind.
Yeah.
And he was a guy that like, he know how to do life insurance.
Yeah.
Learned how to do the thing, and then he learned how to give the thing to others. Once he learned how to do the thing, he learned how to help others do the same thing he's doing.
Yeah.
Like the perfect journey where Russell teaches, like learn how to do your thing really well, but how you make your hundreds of millions is by teaching others how to do your thing. And that's how me and him like kind of connected, because I ran a 130-person life insurance team. I know how to sell life insurance. And he was like, yeah, I can get like leads and stuff. And he's like, you know, me and him, we're trying to figure out a coaching program to help others how to do things. And then he's like, he's crushing lead gen. I'm crushing lead gen in real estate. Then what's the thing here? Why don't we just do lead gen and help agencies do more lead generation? Duh. Because everyone wants more prospects. I was like, that makes sense, because we're going to do a coaching just to help businesses, like, because he's an accountant just like me. So we can help people do your LLC, structure that, create this company, get the tax advantages, create this other company, and do it. It's like, that's not what people want to know. They just want to know how to make money fast, you know? And I'm like, oh, okay, then it's a system.
Yeah.
So that's like one of the frameworks. And I'll tell you, one of the frameworks that I learned from Dan Kennedy. So I wanted to share that. And it's like the purpose of marketing and the integration of it. And what he means by that is like, he's got a framework that's marketing autopilot, came from one of his books. I want to quote that. He's like, leads. You basically want to be consistently calling and following up on customers, or else you're leaving a ton of money on the table. And one of the things with that message is that most businesses or even marketers, they don't realize the impact of all the people they already know. Things are organic, and customers that you already have. So why are you always trying to get new customers that don't know, like, and trust you? Those are the 3 principles to a sale. The person has to know who you are, they have to trust you, and they have to like you. And what I learned, and I'll share this framework in real estate, is like most real estate agents, the traditional old school model is that, hey, I did business with you know, your grandma, and your grandma referred me, you know, so then that's why we should do business. So what happened with that transfer in real estate? So I'm gonna use this framework. in real estate, when you do that, people already know who you are because grandma did business with them in a real
Yeah.
estate transaction. They already trust them because they already did a business. They're transferring grandma's trust, right? All you got to get them to do is like you. So it's so easy, real estate, isn't it? You got to get them to like you and you close the sale. Awesome. But guess what? Now with the millennials, like our generation, the next generations, like the younger generation, they don't use the internet. Well, I can find any real estate agent from, online, YouTube, Facebook, anything
Yeah.
like that. What's going to separate you and the other? So the old school traditional real estate agents are like, oh, when a lead generation brings in the business, they're like, hey, excuse me, I'm a realtor. Okay, there's a lot of other realtors. Give value. And that's the thing they don't know. There's like, well, I called them once. Well, Grant Cardone, you got to call them 17 times. You have to talk to them more than once. So that's the part on the sales. It's like, okay, so how do I get them to like, know, and trust you? Because I called them once. I left a message. You never called me back. So I'm going to move on. Well, because when they come online, they don't know who you are. It's just from an ad they clicked on. They don't trust you yet. There's a lot of other agents. And maybe you got them to like you or not on that first call, but if you were cold and you didn't share a lot of things, you didn't even get them that. So that's why the leads don't work for the salesperson for that industry. What you have to do is you have to build that authority online, through your personal profile, and then build it where you're giving information to let people know, hey, I'm a real estate agent. I'm here. I can give you many facts and just help out with free content. And what that does is that starts building that online, because what's the first thing people do online when they look up a real estate agent now? They look at the Zillow, they look online, they look at what you did, and if you don't have like that digital blueprint online, then they might not trust you. While if you came from grandma, you did business with grandma, I'm going to do business with you, duh. And studies show it's like 90% of the real estate agents, the like customers, when they go, they come from when they do business with the first agent they meet with. And that's it. It's like really that simple. So you got to get yourself more in the marketplace. So that was been what we learned through doing a lot of this like marketing for real estate agents. We thought that the problem was like they needed more leads, but that was not the problem. So I solved the first problem, got you a ton of leads. The real problem was I don't know how to sell to internet customers, even though I've been an agent for 10 years.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. And you see how that whole industry shift that way is by understanding the psychology, by doing a deep dive and really working it. And I've been in real estate mortgages since 2007. So we're in 2019 now. So that's like 12 years.
Yeah.
And I've been in banking for 20 years, creating my first job when I was in college, when I was a financial advisor. So that's the whole epiphany of the financial knowledge. I really liked money. And what I realize now is how you make more money is actually through marketing and advertising and the sale. It's not through all the financial knowledge and knowing what to do, where the dollar went through the system, goes to the Fed Reserve. And then after you do a mortgage, life insurance actually come and buy it because it's investors, but it's paper owned by the government, which is Fannie, Freddie, and Mac, So there's more, they don't want to know that. They don't care. They just want to know, how do I make money, And that's shifted my thinking. And again, let me get back to Dan Kennedy because I go on tangents. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, on marketing and autopilot, Dan Kennedy, the first thing is leads, consistently following up. And the 5 secrets to doing more business that every lead gen company, as well as regular brick and mortar business, can use these tips. And Dan Kennedy, as everyone knows, is awesome at what he does in his business fundamentals. So the 5 secrets. Number 1 was cherry picking your leads. There's 3 types of leads. There's hot, warm, and cold, right? And when you learn Russell Brunson, like cold said, people are not problem aware or solution aware.
Yeah.
Warm is maybe they're problem aware, but not solution aware. Hot is they're problem aware and solution aware.
Yeah.
And that's where sales funnel nurturing comes in. And as a salesperson, you have to educate them by being what they call as a consultative selling person. What that means, you're consulting them, ask them questions so you can get answers to do feedback, so you can give them answers to match what they're looking to do. And most times when they're walking in a furniture store, you're selling furniture. Well, they're warm. They want furniture. Okay. But how do you get them to be hot? That's the thing. You don't know. Are they looking to buy a table? Are they looking to buy a sofa? And last week I just went in to buy furniture from one of the new houses I bought with my fiance. And that's the same thing happened. And the funny thing is the guy used to be a salesman with me a long time ago at another company called Verizon that I worked part-time just to hang out there. And, he was like, yeah, he remembered. It's like, yeah, wow, you're selling furniture now. That's totally different from technology. He's like, yeah, the tech stuff is too much for me. I want to get to more what people do, tangible products. And I was like, Like furniture? I was like, okay, cool. I'm like, cool. So that's how that went about. And he was selling me like, I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't. He's like, well, here's the things. The first thing, he gave me information because I don't really buy furniture. That's not like a thing I do. I'm more into tech and things like that. I was like, okay. I just let my fiance, you're going to talk to her. You're not really going to talk to me. But me, I look at value because I'm a logical thinker. She's an emotional kind of thing. So then you got the two minds there.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, well, here's price point. You want to get the best deal? Then you find out what the things are. Some of these manufacturers are better. Since we're closing out the store, we have to sell everything. So make an offer and I'll let you know if you're in the ballpark, and I'll talk to my manager. So I was like, this furniture sales seems a lot like car sales. I didn't know you had to talk to someone to approve this and that. He's like, make an offer. And I was like, wow, I didn't know furniture was like that. I thought, yeah, there's a price and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was interesting, his process, but his process got us to spending, like we bought $5,000 worth of furniture. I only wanted to spend like, maybe $500 for a table. I don't know. But it was him asking questions.
Yeah.
So on a sales approach, that's what you need to do. You want to get and enter the conversations already in the prospect's mind. So if they're warm, then that means they're problem aware of something. You just have to figure out what the solution is, but they're not so aware what the solution was. Like I came to a furniture store. I wanted to buy furniture, so I'm warm. But I didn't know really what I wanted to buy. I was like, maybe a table, maybe not. I don't know. It depends on the price. So I'm thinking, oh, logical. My fiance is like, oh, no, this will look pretty and stuff. So he talked to her most of the time. It's like, sit on this chair. See how comfortable it is? It'd be nice in your living room and that. And that's how that sale went. And I was like, oh, man, sounds like that's going to happen then. I was like, okay, so what's the best price you can get me? So I went back to logical stuff. But that's it, cherry picking, the 3 types of leads: hot, warm, and cold. So cold leads, a lot of times people think are bad. And most times salespeople think that they're bad for marketing because they're not aware how was generated. So the communication, marketing, and sales is marketers should be like, hey, this is how we generate these leads. They're hot because they filled out a form. They went through this and they're hot and live now. You need to talk to them now when they're thinking about this thing. Because as everyone knows, now our attention spans are less than a goldfish. Was it 3 seconds? Yeah, 3 seconds to get their attention. You got them to fill out the form. They're going to be thinking about for not that much longer. So you need to contact them right away. And that was the thing in real estate. So using our lead gen that we're doing for real estate, so it's easier for everyone to understand, is that when we're doing that, you need to contact the customer within the first 6 minutes. After 6 minutes, your conversion on you even being able to talk to them drops by 80%.
Whoa.
So that is where you're integrating the sales and marketing. Because when the lead comes in, we send a text right to the real estate. They have a text, they have an email and phone call. You need to call this person right now because they just fill out the form. They're thinking about real estate right now. Contact them. And the purpose of the marketing is to get the customers to raise their hand. Hey, I want to buy a house. The agent's job is to know which are warm, because now they're warm to hot because they're thinking about buying a house. They need to call them first 6 minutes. If not, they might click on some other ad and go to some other funnel and become part of some other real estate agent's thing, because that's how fast it is in real estate. You didn't pick up the phone? I'm going to go into the next guy, because there's thousands and thousands of agents everywhere. Everyone and their family member is a real estate agent right now. And because of that, the competition is fierce. So you got to get to them when they're hot, when they're warm. So that's why we encourage them to call. And a lot of times the salespeople are like, oh, I'm busy doing this and that. I was like, you're busy? And then in the funnel that we have a diagram that shows that, hey, from these 100 leads, there's $1 million worth of commission for you. And that's what motivates a salesperson. You see how using technology, he's like, $1 million, what I got to call? What I got to do? What I got to do? That's the first thing. He's like, I don't know what to do anymore. And then what we realized was, after we did that for a while, getting leads for agents, they didn't know how to close on them. And then what we learned is that we needed to give them a program that they can learn how to follow up and make internet leads and calls and all that other stuff. So that's the next solution that we solve. We create a whole training process. How do you answer the phone call? What tone should you use? Should you stand up? What type of energy should you do when you make the call? So you see, all those things are like added, because when people smile on the phone, you realize that people actually can hear you smile and they know, and it changes like the tone of voice. People know doing that. And people don't realize that. Sometimes people are in their pajamas still really talking. It's like, oh yeah, I'm getting out of bed. It's like, yeah, that doesn't work. You got to get your energy level up to do that. And we're training them on that. And then we have to train them, oh, you have to have more of a social media presence. You have to kind of really look like you're a real estate agent. You can't have like all these political type posts and things that are like, not good for what you're trying to do. Your message, you're in real estate. You can't be a real estate agent and be like, oh yeah, I'm renting. I was like, that's not the look that you want to do. I live in an apartment, but I want to sell you real estate. but you don't own a house, Mr. Realtor. You know, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? And people can see that because your social profile is out there, you know?
Yeah.
That's why they call it, you know, social media. And people do that. And that's the thing. So number 2, timing is everything. People buy when they're ready to buy, not when you're ready to sell them. So
Yeah.
sometimes, you know, they're not ready to buy now. And in my mortgage business or my real estate or my tax business, some customers didn't come around for 5 years. You know, I would help them, give them information and nuggets, giving them value. It took them 5 years. Like, you know what? I'm ready to do something now. I'm like, great. You fixed your credit. You had your down payment. You did all these things I told you. Yeah, you taught me along the way and I did it. So that's nurturing. That's needed. But remember, timing is everything.
Mm-hmm.
So when a lead comes in on some of those customers for real estate, so it's the easiest example. It's like, hey, I want to buy now. They're thinking about it. Timing is everything. That's why you want to contact them in the first 6 minutes. They're thinking about that right now. You move on that emotion, you know, and then you can help close on logic or emotion or both. You move on it. So, but also have patience and always follow up. A lot of sales are lost from people not following up. There's so many real estate agents I work with. It's like, how many leads you had? And you're like, yeah, but you know, I was like, do you ever call them more than once? No. Some people, did you even call once? No, I thought the internet stuff did that. And I'm like, no. I sent them an email. I was like, that's not calling. Okay. They gave you the phone number so you can call them. They didn't give you the phone number so you can, you know, email them.
Yeah.
So that was the thing. So just follow up. And where a lot of salespeople and marketers miss it on the boat on both sides is that they only follow up on their hot leads. Don't forget about your warm people. You have to nurture them more. Figure out what type of follow-up sequence that warms them up to your message that will get them to be hot. And that's the key. To cold, a lot more nurturing. So you have to do a lot more, you know, information that you have to give them.
Yeah.
And the third thing is Dan talks about is integrate your sales and marketing together. And that was the big thing, epiphany that I was talking about. Ryan Dice talked about that at GrowthCon, I think 3 or 4. He was like, the big thing is that argument I talked about between sales and marketing is like the new 10X marketer is a salesperson that became the marketer because he understands the sales part. He just doesn't know how to get the advertising together. When you combine those two things, it's just unlimited amounts of business everywhere. I will tell you, Dave, I have so many leads I can't follow up on all the time. I have to have all my automated sequences. It doesn't work all the way. I have my salespeople. I'm training them to follow up on leads and they can't follow up on everything. So business is like so abundant right now because of that integration of both things. But having worked one system, what I'm learning right now is how to have a process, a system that's duplicatable inside your organization. So like that, it can kind of keep on creating money where I don't have to be the person doing it. Like what Stephen Larson says, he's a funnel builder, but he's not the funnel. If he's the funnel, it doesn't work, the funnel, you know? And that's one of the big things that I'm learning, the sales integration. Marketing, again, so let me repeat, is the job of marketing is to get the leads to raise their hands to say, hey, I'm interested. Sales is the act of that person's hand raised to convert them from I'm interested to closing a sale, which in the marketing world is called conversion. In the sales world, it's called a sale. You know what I mean? I made money, you know, conversion. So how do you like do that? Is once they raise their hand, and you have to have, I guess, in marketing, the follow-up sequences to warm them up, to get them hotter to the message where you can make a sale by giving more value or bonuses or things like that. In the sales world, is like you have to find out what objection they're having and you have to overcome it. And a lot of times it's like, hey, like a big Grant Cardone close is like, hey, do you have enough information to make a decision? You ask a customer that, then what are you going to say? Yes or no? It's like, do I have enough information? I think I do. You know, I don't think I have. I have a question about this, and then that's when you go in and inform them about that question and answer it, and then go back to the close. Be like, okay, are we ready to move forward now? It's not like you close, you want to buy. It's like, are we ready to move forward now? You know, is there any reason why you know that we can't move forward? So now you kind of use the negative positive approach. Those are closing statements with that. And it's like, okay, all you have to do is sign right here. You know, those are like different words and ways of using a close and a sale. Okay. So, yep, Dan talks about that. The fourth thing that you must have a living, breathing customer database, CRM. I was shopping for CRM for like 10 years, something good. And I was like, Salesforce was a really good one. But the thing is, it didn't integrate like sales and marketing that well. And it was so complicated to use. So what did we do? We invented and worked together with software developers, and we have our own CRM system now to help marketers as well as salespeople talk to each other. And it
Mm-hmm.
shows it in a funnel approach. How much money can I make commission? It made it simple. You drag one thing to the next, kind of like a Trello card. So it really changed how we do business, and it changed businesses for the business that we support now, because now someone just pull up a dashboard like, oh man, all these people are in the sales funnel still. I didn't move them to having a conversation. I didn't move them to an appointment. I didn't even set the appointment yet, and they need more information. So they're different, you know, logs that you need to do. And from those logs in marketing, you need to have follow-up email sequences, follow-up phone call or texting, and you have to have notes. It needs to be in an organized manner. So Dan Kennedy was huge about that. And it says, you don't want to rely heavily on outside marketing. All you want to do is you bring the outside marketing into your world. And that's what Russell talks about. Once they're on your list, now you have to figure out what is the right message to send to people on your list, and that's what it is. Your follow-up sequences, your emails, your texts, your call, your bots. We use bots too to integrate that marketing. Voicemails, you know what I mean? Things like that. And and earlier I touched on this again, and that's so funny that Dan talks about this. I've been doing this for years. It's like maximize referrals and repeat business so you don't have to waste time chasing down leads and convincing the folks why they should do business with you. So the trust factor, remember we were talking about real estate?
Yeah.
If you have customers you did business with, they're raving fans of yours, ask them for referrals and give them a reward for giving you referrals.
Mm-hmm.
In online marketing or the digital space, what's that called? Affiliate marketing. It's just another word for, hey, give me referrals and I pay. You're a salesperson. All affiliate marketers are salespeople for other people, products that they are established products and brands. And David, you're an awesome affiliate marketer, man. I mean, I heard you crushing that mastermind thing that you're hanging out with Tony and Dean, right?
Yeah, it was great event. Yep. I'm waiting for the next launch in February, so I'm excited for that and see how it goes.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm part of that too, but I didn't really focus on it. But that product is so good that I definitely think a lot more people need to have that type of message in their hands. And because of that, I'm going to be more active on this next launch. So I might need your help. I'm going to need your help because you're so great at social media.
The competition will be tough next time though. Like I'm pretty sure on the next launch, all the big guys will jump on and pay ads and all kind of crazy stuff. So we'll see if I can keep up with the competition.
Oh man, but you have a huge following and you give people what they want. Remember, like in sales and marketing, first you give them the thing that they want, right? But then you're going to teach them what they need. And that's like that value thing. And you done it, man. You have all these people that are following because you give a great message. You help people. And that's what people need. Tony and Dean, they just help people. So I think that's it. All these other affiliate marketers doing paid ads, if they're not understanding their audience and customer base just because they're running ads, they're not going to win over you, my man. We're doing this thing right here. This is a thing of engaging, getting other people's audience and giving people help that they need and whatever it is they need. They listen more. It's just giving value, right?
Yeah, I totally agree. Provide value for us to build that know, like, and trust factor, right? That's amazing tips right there. All right. Well, pretty much we've been going on for over half an hour already, and I barely got to ask you any question. It's been great.
Sure.
You provide us so much value. Is there any last word you want to tell my audience?
I think that the last thing is education. Always learn. Read a book a day or a week. The more books you can get, that's your mastermind. And definitely masterminds are the best things to get because there's people that are experts in whatever fields of things that you want to learn. Approach them. Be like, hey, how can I get in on this master? How can I learn how to do these things? This is what I do, and give value to each other. And from that, it crushes it. We are doing a group soon that we're going to teach other marketers and salespeople how to get lead gen. So maybe I'll give you the details on that and how they can figure it out. But we're all going to train for free, and then we can go from there.
Okay, that's amazing, Sonny. Okay, if my audience want to find out more about you, about your business, where can they find you?
On Instagram, it's Financial Sonny. So that's the hashtag there. Or they could go Sonny Tran. I have the Business and Startups Mastermind Group, which we give a lot of free content that's on there. So they can find it there. I'll drop that in for you. You can drop in the link.
Okay.
And we can go from there.
All right.
Sounds having me here, man. It's been so fun. Thanks so much, David.
Awesome. Thank you so much, though. I learned a lot about sales and marketing from you. Listening to you is so addictive. I'm sure everybody learned something today. It's been a great time with you. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, Sonny.
No problem. And one more, can I drop one more
Yeah,
thing?
for
Okay.
sure. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because both me and you came from Vietnam, we're immigrants, and there's a book that I'm launching out soon. And what it is like, if you speak another language, it is your responsibility to help other people that you speak that language in, because a lot of people didn't know English. I came to this country, I didn't know any English in kindergarten or first grade. And it was because of other people that helped me, that also spoke Vietnamese and English, that helped me get to where I am. And I'm ever grateful. And that's how I'm trying to give back now. But if you speak another language, it's a great gift. Help out the other people. That's all I'm saying, because you were there one time too, or I was there, and there's always someone that needs help. Okay?
That's a great message. I love that. That's
Awesome,
amazing.
man.
All right. Thank you so much, Sonny. I
No
appreciate
problem.
your time. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you,
See
guys.
you guys next time. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.
See ya.